Okay, so when you're buying a home, the lowest interest rate seems like a total no brainer, right? I mean, of course you want the lowest rate. But what if that amazing rate is just the bait on a hook? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the true cost of a mortgage and show you why that shiny low number you see online is almost never the whole story. And this is where it all begins. It sounds so logical, right? Let's just get the lowest rate, we'll save a ton of money. That's exactly what the couple in our story today, Alex and Jamie, were thinking. And honestly, who could blame them? They thought they were making the smartest financial move of their lives.
All right, so let's set the scene. Alex and Jamie, they found it, their dream home right in Toronto. You know that feeling? The excitement is through the roof. So what's the first thing they do? They jump online, hunting for the absolute lowest mortgage rate they can find. And bam, they find one. It looks incredible, way lower than anything the big banks were offering. It seriously felt like they'd hit the jackpot.
So they click on an ad and start filling out this online form for a pre-approval. You know the drill. Name, address, everything seems totally normal. But then, the form asks for their social insurance number. They pause for a second. But hey, it's for a mortgage. It must be necessary, right? Well, this right here, this is what we call the honeypot. And here is the absolute critical point. You have to understand this. Just handing over your SIN to some random online ad, it's just unbelievably risky. Alex and Jamie had no idea if this was a real lender or some shady company just harvesting their data. In that one click, they basically handed over the keys to their entire financial kingdom, swinging the door wide open for identity theft.
So they've committed. And that dream of a smooth, easy home buying process, yeah, that pretty much went up in smoke fast. Their new lender, this faceless online company we're just going to call Discount Finance, was about to give them a masterclass in terrible customer service. I mean, it was a disaster from day one. Every call, straight to voicemail. No one ever picked up. They needed to make a simple change to their file, and it took weeks. But the real kicker? On closing day, the single most important day, the money almost didn't show up. It nearly torpedoed the entire deal, and it didn't stop there. Months later, they find out the lender just forgot to pay their property taxes from their escrow account. It took 3 months of them constantly calling and stressing out to get it fixed. A total nightmare.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. 1 week before they're supposed to get the keys, Discount Finance drops a bomb on them. Out of absolutely nowhere, they demand a brand new appraisal. This last-minute surprise just throws everything into chaos, delays the whole process, and ends up costing them hundreds of dollars in extra legal fees. All that excitement they should have been feeling? Yeah, it was just replaced with pure stress. Okay, so let's jump forward 2 years. As it always does, life happens. Alex gets this amazing job offer, a huge opportunity, but it's all the way across the country in Vancouver. So they have to move. And this is the moment they finally discovered what was really lurking in the fine print of that mortgage contract they'd signed.
So, they do the logical thing. They call their lender, explain the situation with the new job, and they ask a pretty simple question. Hey, what's it going to cost us to break this mortgage? The answer they got back was anything but simple. $45,000. That was the bill. Just let that sink in. Every single penny they thought they'd saved with that low rate, plus a whole lot more, just gone, instantly. And this isn't some made-up number for a story. This is a real-life penalty that just came out of nowhere and completely floored them. So you're probably asking, how is a penalty that huge even legal? Well, it comes down to this sneaky little thing called the interest rate differential, or IRD. And here's the dirty secret. The lender doesn't use the good, competitive rates you see online to calculate your penalty. Oh, no. They use their own superinflated posted rates. It's a calculation that's literally designed to make them the most money possible when you try to leave early. It's how you end up with these insane astronomical fees. So while they're still reeling from that $45,000 gut punch, they get hit with the second piece of terrible news. Their no-frills mortgage, it wasn't portable. That means they couldn't just pack it up and take it with them to their new house in Vancouver. Portability is a totally standard feature on most mortgages, but of course, it was missing from their great deal. They were stuck. They had absolutely no choice but to pay that massive penalty. And if you can believe it, there was a third trap waiting in the weeds.
Their lawyer pointed out that the mortgage was registered as a collateral charge for way more than the house was worth, like 125% of its value. What does that mean? It means that even when their term was up for renewal, trying to switch to a different lender would be a huge, expensive pain, costing thousands in legal fees. It's a feature specifically designed to trap you with that lender, completely destroying any leverage you have to negotiate a better rate later on. So now, finally, Alex and Jamie were starting to see the whole picture. That super low rate they were so proud of for 2 years, it came with a massive hidden price tag, a cost measured in all these crucial features they didn't even know they were supposed to have.
What they had was a totally bare-bones product. They had really limited prepayment options, which means they couldn't even make extra payments to pay the mortgage down faster. They had no access to a home equity line of credit if an emergency came up. They got zero personalized advice. Nobody asked them if this super restrictive mortgage even made sense for their life plans. And to add insult to injury, when they looked back, they realized they'd been nickel and dimed with a bunch of hidden admin fees that weren't in the original quote.
Look, Alex and Jamie's story is a really powerful warning. So the big question is, how do you avoid falling into the same traps? It really all comes down to a shift in your thinking. You have to realize you're not just shopping for a rate. You are choosing a complex financial product. And when you actually lay it all out side by side, the choice becomes crystal clear. You've got the low-rate mortgage on one side, with its insane penalties, no portability, and super rigid rules. And on the other side, you've got a full-featured mortgage with fair, transparent penalties, the ability to take it with you if you move, and options to pay it off faster. All of that usually comes with real advice from a real person. The difference is just night and day. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's actually pretty simple. That interest rate you see advertised, that's just the tiny tip of the iceberg. The real cost of a mortgage, the stuff that can really hurt you, is hidden below the water in all that fine print. It's the lack of flexibility when life throws you a curveball. It's those soul-crushing penalties if you need to move. And it's the absolute lack of service when you desperately need help. And that really leaves us with one final crucial question. After hearing a story like this, after seeing what can go wrong, you really have to ask yourself, is the lowest rate really the lowest cost in the long run? It's something you definitely want to think long and hard about before you click on that next shiny low-rate ad online.